happens to anyone and everyone. There's just days that you wake up and don't want to do anything. You don't want to do your laundry, you don't want to talk to anyone. You might even consider calling into work because laying in bed all day doing nothing is the only thing that sounds appealing. According to Greta Anderson, a researcher for CERU, a group who studies students of all ages and backgrounds, 35% of college students have been diagnosed with depression, and even more so in the case of anxiety. That means 1 out of every 3 people in here, if not more, most likely have or experience depression. I myself have definitely had periods in my life where that's a normal everyday feeling to be down in the dumps and having no motivation. I've spent a lot of time researching this and trying to learn more about this disease, and I'm here today to talk to you about it. Firstly, I will be discussing depression and how it develops in a person. It's really hard to say exactly how depression comes about in a person because it's so argued about in the science and health communities. There's so many different kinds and symptoms that are different for everyone. But according to researchers at Harvard Health Publishing, what we do know is that it can come from many things, something as simple as it's genetically passed down to you, or it can be a chemical imbalance in your brain due to substance use or abuse. Trauma from your childhood can be a huge considering factor, and even trauma from your adult life, such as abuse or stress over time, can do it to a person. And many more causes have been found linked to depression. It's so hard to say specifically because everyone handles situations and are affected by them differently. Something that one person would just brush off could be absolutely devastating to another. Secondly, I'll be talking about the symptoms and its effects it has on your physical health. And the list for physical symptoms is definitely not a small one. For many people, sleep is greatly affected by depression. Insomnia is a horrible symptom some people have to endure, not being able to sleep at night for more than an hour or two, if at all. And for others, it could be sleeping multiple hours during the day and being up all night. Appetite is also a big one that can change both ways for different people. Lots of people lose any desire towards food at all, maybe eating once a day or two, losing lots of weight to the point of anorexia. It could also be the exact opposite for others, since they lose desire for most to all other activities. One thing they overindulge themselves is with eating, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can easily become an issue when it starts affecting things such as blood pressure or even your heart. And since many of these symptoms cause more issues amongst your body, it can create an even worse cycle of depression, which is very hard for families and friends that are close to you having to watch but not really being able to do anything. And it's even harder if you're the one having to go through this and experience it. Depression can even hurt things such as your sex drive. As you lose interest in activities you previously enjoyed, this is one of those things. It's unfortunate because even if you do seek help and medication is the right choice for you, many antidepressants lower your body's libido, which is what drives you for that. And finally, I want to go over how it affects you and your mental health. Depression is a very serious health disorder that can really change a person and their personality. It can literally change how your brain functions. The National Alliance on Mental Health says that 75% of mental illnesses are developed by the age of 24, which is a good amount of college-age students. That being said, people who live under lots and lots of stress on a daily basis basically just have to roll with it. And if you're a person with depression or something similar, these conditions can be extremely overwhelming and hard to cope with, which is what leads to low and weak mental health statuses. That could start leading to thoughts of suicide and or self-harm, which is why it's so important to take care of yourself and those around you. According to American College and Health Association, suicide in 15 to 19-year-olds have gone up between 30 and 50% in the past years for boys and girls. It's the second leading cause of death in young people now, and for what? That just shows how important this issue is. Today I spoke with you over depression and how it's developed in a person, its effects on your physical health and your mental health. In conclusion, I just want to add, if you or anyone you know is going through something like this, don't be afraid to seek help or even just talk to someone. It's worth it for your happiness. Thank you for your time.